If you have ever searched for happiness, even just once, this story is for you. Not because something is wrong with your life, but because even on good days, something still feels unfinished. You sit down to rest, and your mind keeps moving. You do everything right, and still wonder why it never quite feels enough. In Japan, this feeling was understood differently, not as a lack of happiness, but as a subtle way of stepping outside the moment. This story shows what quietly gets in the way of happiness, and what happens when it's no longer there. The Monk and the Question. Everyone knew there was one question the old monk Satoshi would never answer. He answered everything else: fear, anger, loss, doubt. People traveled for days just to sit across from him. They bowed, they asked, they listened, and many of them left calmer than before. But whenever someone asked that question, Satoshi became silent. Not confused, not distracted, silent on purpose. At first, people thought it was coincidence. Then it happened again and again. Someone would ask, "How can I be happier?" And Satoshi would simply look at them. No advice, no explanation, no story, just silence. Some visitors waited politely, others laughed nervously. A few grew uncomfortable. One man repeated the question, slower, louder, as if Satoshi hadn't heard. He had, he always heard, but he never answered. Something strange followed. People who asked about fear often left relieved. People who asked about grief often left lighter. But people who asked about happiness left unsettled. Not angry, not sad, just strangely exposed, as if something they depended on had quietly disappeared. Among those who noticed this was a young scribe named Haru. Haru didn't come to ask questions. He came to observe. He watched how people entered the room, hopeful, prepared, expectant. And he watched how they left. Those who asked about happiness walked more slowly afterward, as if unsure what to do next. That stayed with him. One quiet evening after the visitors had gone, Haru stayed behind. Satoshi sat alone, drinking tea. Haru bowed. "May I ask you something?" he said. Satoshi nodded. Haru hesitated, then asked the question everyone knew would not be answered. "How can I be happier?" Satoshi looked at him and said nothing. At first, Haru wasn't surprised. He had expected the silence. What surprised him was what the silence did to him. The moment stretched. There was nothing to react to, nothing to respond to, nothing to complete. And then Haru felt it, a strange inner push, the urge to do something. Not because something was wrong, but because nothing was happening. Thoughts appeared, not loud, not dramatic, just insistent. Say something, explain yourself, ask it differently. The longer the silence lasted, the stronger the urge became. And suddenly, Haru noticed something unsettling. The silence itself wasn't uncomfortable. What felt uncomfortable was not knowing what he was supposed to do next. Haru understood something important. Satoshi wasn't creating the tension. The tension was already there. The silence had simply removed the next instruction. No answer, no guidance, no direction. And without direction, Haru didn't feel free. He felt exposed, as if simply being there wasn't enough. As if value only existed when something was done. After a long moment, Haru spoke. "Why won't you answer?" he asked quietly. Satoshi finally replied. "Tell me," he said, "what do you expect to receive?" Haru opened his mouth, then stopped. He had no clear answer. Something helpful, something useful, something that would make the moment better. Satoshi nodded. "You ask how to be happier," Satoshi said, "but notice what happens when nothing changes. You immediately try to improve the moment, to fix it, to understand it, to move forward." He looked at Haru. "That movement," he said, is the problem. When a moment is bad, Satoshi continued, people want it to end. That is natural. But when a moment is okay, the mind still interferes. It says, this should feel better. I should enjoy this more. What comes next? And that interference, Satoshi said, is what makes the moment feel wrong. Haru felt the words settle. Satoshi leaned forward slightly. Most people believe they are unhappy because something is missing, he said. But look closely. Nothing is missing. The mind simply refuses to leave a moment alone. It keeps leaving and then wonders why nothing feels complete. Not because something was missing, but because the moment was never stayed with long enough. Not because the moment was empty, but because it was never fully entered. It was left before it had a chance to feel whole. Satoshi lifted his teacup. When you eat, he said, and already think about the next thing, you don't taste the food. When you rest and think you should rest better, you don't feel the rest. And when you ask how to be happier, he added, you step outside the moment you're already in. Haru felt it clearly now. He had done this his entire life. Satoshi stood. This is the whole trick, he said. When a moment is not bad, do not improve it. Do not comment. Do not adjust. Do not plan. Just let it finish. That was all. No method, no ritual, no technique. Because happiness is not something you build. It's something that appears when the mind stops interrupting. And that interruption can stop immediately, not by force, but by non-interference. They sat in silence again. This time, Haru didn't push the feeling away. He noticed the tension, felt it in his chest, watched it, and slowly, without effort, it passed on its own. Nothing special happened, but nothing needed to. What remained wasn't joy. It was something simpler. Relief. The feeling that nothing had to be done. And for the first time, that felt like enough. Even though nothing changed in Haru's outer life, everything changed in the way he met each moment. His duties stayed the same, but moments stopped slipping through him. When something ended, he let it end. When nothing was wrong, he stayed, instead of searching. Life didn't get louder. It got closer. Satoshi never refused the question because it was wrong. He refused it because the moment someone asked it, they were already stepping out of the present. And happiness cannot be found outside the moment you're standing in. So here is the quiet question he never answered. How often today did you leave a moment that wasn't broken just to improve it?